Good morning, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. It's Belinda here from Visualized NZ. I am going to bring you a little project today on using kit envelopes. So digital printables, the envelopes that you will often get in those digital kits. Specifically, I am working with envelopes from A Garden Story. Now there are two ephemera kits for this particular digital. There's some from RachandBella Crafts, and that's these two here, these two cute little envelopes with these kind of like seed packet fronts that are vertical. Super pretty, slightly on the grungy side, because in the theme of the Garden Story collaboration that we've just recently had was there is rustic and grungy, and then there was bright and shabby. So Rachel's kit is more on the rustic and grungy side, and then Angela Kerr Designs, her kit was more on the bright shabby. So these two horizontal envelopes are from Angela Kerr's ephemera kit for A Garden Story. So hopefully I will get 2 pages done, one for each. Just some different ideas with the envelopes. Instead of using them as an envelope, what else can we do with them? You could trim out the image and use it as a decoration on something. You could use it, back it and use it as a journal card, like all those things. Turn it into a tag, whatever you like. But I've got something a little different. I don't know if it's been done before. It probably has. There's nothing really new. So in preparation for this, I have cut myself a couple of book pages from a gardening book. I had to trim them down because they were slightly too large. So this one I trimmed top and bottom and the outside edge. This second one I trimmed top and bottom, and one of the pages I trimmed to the side. The other one I didn't want to trim it and then lose this fun graphic detail, so I've just kind of folded it in for the moment. I don't know what way I'll jump, whether I'll like glue it down as into a tuck or leave it as a flip or even end up trimming it off. I don't know, but I gave myself the option right now of just leaving it and making a flip, but I'm going to fold it back out just so I'm not dealing with extra kind of bumpiness while I do this project. So you will need some sort of journal page base, whatever you work with. It could be a digital, it could be book page like I'm using, whatever you like. I'm just going to fold this back the other way for ease because I want to work on this page and this back page on this one. But one at a time, eh? Might be a good idea. So let's start with this one, and with the rustic grungy. Aren't they lovely? So cut them out, obviously. I have backed mine with one of the background pages. Super pretty, very writable, and that's important for this project. In fact, I'm going to have to fold that in so I can see the edge of my page. Otherwise it's like, where's the edge? So my idea is that we're going to kind of stack them. Kind of like something like this. And they're going to flip out. So writing space, and then this will also flip out, but we're going to have something a little extra as well. So I'm just trying to think whether I want to trim off these the top tabs that usually would fold under for your envelope. I don't think we need to, because it's colourful, it's pretty, it means that there's more journaling space on the underside. So I think I'm going to leave them on. So I'm going to whip around and ink them. I didn't do this off camera because I wasn't sure which way I was going to jump, and I thought I need to just get in and do it and stop dithering, and you know, another hour goes past before I actually get the video done because I'm so indecisive sometimes. Sometimes the pressure of recording can be useful to make you make a decision. It's like, just don't overthink it. Whereas if I'm just puddling along by myself without the camera on, without you guys, it just turns into a mission to make any decisions. So you are very much helping me by being here with me. So thank you for that. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy the video. I hope you've had a fantastic week. It's been a fabulous week here weather-wise. We're in autumn, and it's been mostly fine. I think we had rain at the beginning of the week, if I remember correctly. Gosh, I can't even remember actually, but pretty much fine most of the week. Overcast a lot of the days, so though it was quite warm outside, it didn't really warm up inside, which is annoying because I don't like being cold, and our house is really old and gets very cold. But today is just gorgeous. It is sunny, there's blue sky, there's a warm breeze. It is just perfection. So I'm hoping that once I get this video done, I can head outside and read my book for a bit in the sun, get some vitamin D, some natural vitamin D, and just have a little break, because I'm really missing having some good long stints in my book. I'm getting little like 5-minute snatches or 1 or 2 minute snatches in my book that I'm reading. And you know, you just don't really get into the story when you're doing little snippets like that. You kind of lose train of the story, particularly if it's a day or two in between. And then you kind of end up rereading the last paragraph or half paragraph or whatever to reacquaint yourself with what's going on. And so there goes, you know, a couple of your precious minutes just in reviewing. At least that's what I find myself doing anyway, because it's like, oh, where was I up to? What was going on? What scene were we kind of in the middle of? So yeah, so that's my intentions for this afternoon. We shall see whether it happens. I was hoping to do that yesterday too, and it didn't happen. But we shall see. Now this is a rustic grungy style, but I'm not going particularly grungy. I'm an inker, so I ink. Right, which one would I like on top? The red or the yellow? I am partial to the red. Dark red is my favourite colour, so it's kind of, I'm gravitating towards having the red on top. So I think I will. So I am simply going to glue this whole thing down on the back flap. I did think about turning it into a pocket, but because the other one is laid over top of it, it's going to be super awkward to get anything into it. And I did think about also trimming it down so it didn't have the curve, but I kind of like the curve. It's just interesting and different. So, but you could trim it straight if you didn't want the curve. Absolutely do it whichever way you like. So I'm going to take this quite close to the edge, because it's the outside edge of the page. Try and line it up straight. So that's just completely glued down, and it just becomes a little writing flap. Open it up, write, close it down, and you're good to go. Now we probably will put some sort of little closure thing or something if it's needed. We'll work that one out. Now this one, we need to be careful with placement. I've got the spine here. If you're doing this against the spine and this against the open edge, it won't be as problematic. But I need to think now, if we're going to put a closure here, I need to allow room for the closure, because that's the spine. And we don't have room to add anything out, you know, out off the edge of the page, because it would just get caught up in the spine. So do I want a closure? Or in fact, if we have a closure here, that's actually going to hold that one down as well by default. So we could push that one almost right up to the spine. if we just had the one closure, then open that up, and then this one will be openable. But having this one down, that will work. Okay, glad we agreed on that. So I'm going to put this one just a little bit back from the spine to allow for it, you know, as we put the signature together, it's going to round out. So we need to make sure it's not going to get caught in that spine. So I reckon about there. And this one I'm going to turn into a pocket. We're losing that beautiful pattern, but you know, sometimes you've just got to, oops, don't want glue there. Got to make a sacrifice for the greater good. So I'm just going to glue it down the two short sides. And along here. So it's only going to be a little pocket, but I think that's an opportunity to have something a little cute in there. Right, now, how to do this without getting glue all over my fingers, which I've already managed to get glue all over my fingers. So I'm going to put it right up the top. Let's go about there. It looks pretty good. Make sure that's down. So now we have this fun little pocket here. Obviously this is too long for it, but little journal card or a wee tag or something in there is going to be cute. We've got all this writing space there, all this writing space there, and we've got two interactive journaling spots. Very cute, and just need a closure here. Now there are some whale tail tabs in Angela's kit, and I've got them all in front of me. They're all just kind of mixed up with everything else. All the fussy cuts and everything are just all kind of together. So just looking at which one of the ones that I happen to grab out I might like. Do we just want to put that down as a little closure? I think so. I'm wondering about whether this is just copy paper. I'm wondering if it's really thick enough to do the job, and I'm suspecting that it's not. So I could either glue two together, which is what I'm going to do, okay, because then it's patterned on both sides. I could cut a whale tail out of thicker paper, but I want to use these ones that are part of the kit, so let's just glue two together. Why not? So just random colours. One's got flower, greeny flower. The flower's in white, but the green is background, and this one's yellow with white dots. So I'm just gonna, oops, I got them stuck together before they were actually lined up. So never mind, we're inking anyway. It'll hide a multitude of sins. Not that it's a sin, but mistakes or imperfections. And grungy it up a little bit just so it's not super contrasty with our two little envelopes here. So I'm going to ink around, and I'm also going to give a bit of ink to the surface. Just a bit lighter than what I'm doing around the edge, just to make it a little bit more tied in. So it's still not super thick, but it's definitely sturdier than what it was. Okay. So just going to come in now and give it a little extra colour. Just with the residual ink on my brush. Here we go. In fact, that where I didn't line it up is annoying me, so I am going to trim it off. That's better. There's still a little bit where you can see it's not glued down properly, straight, but I think I'm way happier with that. So just kind of eyeballing where I want the glue. So slightly more than half of the whale tail. About there should be good. And also wondering about putting a little fussy cut on the whale tail. Got a little daffodil here. Is there something that is smaller? If it's smaller, I probably won't be able to find it in amongst this big stack of ephemera that I've cut out. Oh, there's a wee butterfly. It's not too bad. Oh, here's a smaller butterfly. What about this one? And it echoes the shape of the whale tail. I like that. Let's ink the butterfly. So I haven't done anything really to the envelopes apart from ink them. Oops, come on, pick it up. So super simple, not complicated. Just be careful with placement, and then put something to close it if you need to. A simple little whale tail, or a circle, a punch circle would be fine as well. And you've got yourself a cool interactive little page. You could dress these up further. You could add little fussy cuts or words, or bring in some stamping, you know, truly make them unique. But I just wanted to present, you know, a relatively simple project that you can then customize. Really, it was mainly the idea of doing something different with the envelopes. And do we have anything in the kit that would, in one of the kits? It's a little long. What else? Just let's have a little poke through. I realize you can't even see what I'm doing because it's just this gigantic pile. So much stuff in these kits. It's wonderful. Oh, what about this? Isn't that sweet? Oh, she's adorable. Yes. Okay, let's back that with something. Here's a fly cover, or whatever you call it, the inside page from a Reader's Digest condensed book. If you want. This back side is more cream than white, so I wouldn't necessarily need to, or I think I like the colour around that. So I'm going to glue it down. Do I want to ink? Maybe I want to ink. Create a double frame. So frame this out, and then I'm going to cut the backing a bit wider so it creates a frame, and then ink around that as well. So bear with me as I... Now I will have to be careful that I don't make it too big for our little pocket. I think I can afford to make it a little bit bigger, but not too big. So I'll double check before I ink around the outside edge in case I need to trim a bit more off. So I'm just going to glue it on first, cut it out, check the size, and then go from there. Eyeballing about even on the side and the bottom. Now I'm going to eyeball. Everything's eyeballing. We're eyeballing a lot today. We'll go there. A little bit narrower on that side, but and even narrower on that side. Okay, let's try and it's like the thing that keeps getting smaller, isn't it? And I don't mind so much the bigger bit at the bottom, because quite often you'll find that there's more space given at the bottom on framed pieces. Okay, it will go in, but I don't want it to be tricky to go in. Don't want to have to fight with it, so we're just going to take a little bit off that bottom. And that does not look straight, but never mind. It's junk journal. It will be fine. Yes, that's fine. I'm a little bit fingers and thumbs at the moment, and I've not got much in the way of fingernails because they keep breaking. And I've got a sore arm. I've had a sore arm for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it varies in intensity. But sometimes when I go to like reach, it really grabs me. So it's just making me a little bit more tentative in things that I do. It's very annoying. It's nothing major, I don't think. It's just an annoyance. And sometimes if I sleep bad, or if I'm sleeping on that side or something, and it's in a prolonged position, or I've lifted something heavy, then it just has a day where it gives me a bit of grief. And I was doing a lot of dishes last night at the community dinner, because I'm recording this on Thursday, and so I was working up at a bench and in a deep sink, and I think that's probably just aggravated it a little bit. Isn't that super sweet? Now again, you could add something to that, but I just love it as is. I think it's really, really lovely. And so let's just pop it away in there. Doesn't need to go all the way in, like that. And it's pretty much hidden by the flap. There's a little corner, but you wouldn't even notice if you weren't looking for it. And then that closes, and we've got fun page. I love that. I think that is so much fun. Okay, how are we going on time? Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. So let's grab out our second page. Put that aside. We might need it for something else maybe. We sip of my tea that's getting cold. And so this is the page I wanted to work on. So again, I've got the spine on this side. Now these ones are horizontal. So first off, I'm going to fold them. Now actually, did I want to do these a different way? Did I want to fold the top? Or did I want... Let's just take a moment to think. Which way? Because on the other ones we folded on the back of the envelope. So this one we folded up. This is the back of the envelope. This is the back of these envelopes. But I'm wondering whether we want to do the curved top folded this time. It's kind of really nice detail to have on display though, isn't it? Okay, so no, we'll do it the same way. You could do it the other way around if you wanted. But let's just stick with this because I do like that shaped top. Very pretty. And we may as well use the pretty. Put it on display. So these are going to be put on the page slightly differently, same concept, but slightly differently because of the orientation of them. Okay, so folded up our bottom flaps, and they're going to fold down this time. So on the page, and like which way round do we want them? Do I want the flaps on these? I think this time I'm going to choose to cut the flaps off. And I'm just going to do it with my scissors because I think I would not necessarily line it up very well on the guillotine. And it won't take long. Fun little patterned offcuts there. And this one. Now you could fold the flaps in and make it a little pocket that folds down before I trim this one off. So it's on your page here if this was folded under, like so. And imagine I hadn't cut the other one off and it was folded. So you could have it on the page like this, flip down with writing space and then tuck something between the two flaps. If that's on camera even. Push it up a little bit. So I may not have been on camera, so let's do that again. So you bring it, fold it down, you've got writing space, and then if you have those two flaps on, you can tuck something under or slide it in, or you could even put some vellum or tracing paper or something as a clear pocket and slide it in. You would just have to add a stopper down here so it didn't like come straight through. But that's another idea. I'm not doing that though. Just occurred to me as an idea, so I thought I'd share it. Okay, so I think I want this one at the top. Or do I want this one? As long as I don't cover her face. I don't want to cover her face. But I think, actually I quite like that because then there's the reveal of what she's doing. But like this, it's almost like she's gathering her equipment for the gardening. And then you open it up and there, she's gardening. So let's ink. Oops, getting my glue cap in my ink there. And you know what would happen then, I'd put my hand on the glue lid and get ink on my hand. So let's not do that. So because we're not actually using these as envelopes, I have just printed these on regular copyweight paper. Because they're just light little flips and they don't create a lot of bulk because they're thin paper. They don't need to be sturdy or stiff or anything. I think lightweight is perfectly fine for this and what we're doing with them. See, just a bit of ink, it just makes a world of difference, I believe. I'm wondering about putting something up in these curved bits. To me it's like, it looks like it could do with something fun. Maybe something decorative or a word, or I'm not sure. We'll have a little fossick through the fussy cuts and see what we can come up with. Just to fill in that space at the top. You don't have to add anything, you could leave it as writing space. I didn't ink around the bottom bit, but I need to because it's going to be seen on the inside. Now you could turn these into pockets because the overlap, yeah. So I think what we'll do is we'll turn these into little pockets So in that case, I'm going to, before I do that, hang on, let's finish inking before I go on to the next step. How about? All over the place, that's me. All over the show. It's just because I'm thinking on my feet, even as I'm sitting in my chair. Right. Okay, it's only this bottom part that's glued down that we don't need to ink. So because this is light paper, I want to reinforce this top part that's going to be our pocket. And I just use offcuts of whatever paper I've got, of typically white paper, because then I'm not wasting coffee dyed paper that I could stamp on. And it doesn't need to be straight or anything, it's just to reinforce the top of that pocket. Of course the top edge needs to be straight, but it doesn't even have to go end to end. So I'm going to glue those on, reinforce the top of each pocket. Come on, glue. Did I leave the lid off too long? Come on. I know you want to come out and play. Don't be shy. Yep, there's a little tiny little glue plug there was because I left the lid off too long. Everybody wants to see you glue, so don't hide in the bottle. It doesn't even have to be that wide, it's just enough to strengthen the top. So when we're putting things in and out of the pocket, it's not going to tear. Because a torn pocket would be very sad. Be sad face. And we want happy journals. Oops. Didn't quite line that up properly. That's alright. We'll just snip that end. No biggie. Do it before the glue has time to grab. Okay, now I do want to do little thumb notches, and typically really should wait until that glue's dried, but let's live dangerously. Just a wee thumb notch, doesn't need to be deep because they're only wee pockets. And that one worked okay. Let's brave this one. Just eyeballing the centre-ish. Look, it works like a charm. And then I'm just going to re-ink where I took the wee divots out. Cool. Awesome. Right, so we need to glue the bottom one on first, which is our little garden tools here. So I'm pretty much going to put it at the bottom of the page. Yep, pretty close to the bottom. Ooh, wonky glue lines. Good thing they're not seen, isn't it? Right, I might end up putting some lace or something on the side of the page, so I'm going to put it slightly that way. This is the spine, remember, that way. So yeah, put it this way slightly to leave room for trim of some description, because I think it's probably likely that I'll do that. Now the hard part here is making sure that we line them up. I do believe that's the hard part. So what I'm going to do is hopefully this one's actually straight on the page. It may not be. Is the page straight? That's the other thing. Is the text straight? Is the page straight? And is my pocket straight? It's not too bad. So I'm just going to line up my ruler there to give me a loose guide on where to place this pocket so that they kind of line up. And I need to make sure it's got a little bit of a space at the top. Yeah, that's okay. I'm reasonably happy with the placement. It's not perfect, but it's okay. I think that's so fun. So again, some sort of closure at the top here. Now here, that could be fun. We could put an altered paper clip, which would hold the one at the top. Now we haven't got anything at the bottom though, and I don't want to put anything over her face. I did not think about that. So there we go. There's one issue. We could put something at the side maybe. And we could still put trim over top of it. Would be okay. And then it would still, it's a little bit awkward on that one, isn't it? So do we want to put something like that? And where's another one? Must be another way. Here we go. Whale tail. Could like hinges almost, but then it's a little, feels a little awkward to me that it's coming, you lift that way and then pull this way. So I'm not convinced about that. Okay, the only other thing I can think of is a magnet. So if we had a magnet here, where would it sit? Kind of be right in the middle of her, unless we put it to the side. Sorry guys, just problem solving as we go. Or down in the flowers here, that might be a good place. It doesn't need to be in the center, does it? No, it doesn't. And then we could put the top one in the center. Okay, I think that's a plan, but something to cover it over with so it's not out in the open. It's a bit big. Yep, covers her arm, but we could put just a portion of it, or we could use a little fussy cut. Oh, that's pretty. Let's do that. I'm not going to ink it either. Right, so I'm going to make sure I put the magnet on the right way, because that would be not great if I put it on upside down. Oh, no, it needs to be over there. Yep, there. Glue this little fussy cut over top. So it will peek out from under the envelope flap, which is fine. Just press it around the magnet. Right, and on this side, let's just pop it on there. It's going to be really close to that edge. I didn't leave a lot of space. So I'm going to put glue on. can put it down, and I'm going to just leave it for that glue to dry before I lift it up, and then we'll put something over top, probably washi tape. So that's that one. And on this one, we could perhaps use something like that, or is there something else we want to use? These are really pretty. Oh, come on, over there. No, that's, although we could cut this in half. I think it's supposed to be cut in half, but I just cut them out together. Not sure which way. They would look quite cute folded up and tucked into a pocket too. But let's look at what else we might have. You're never too old to play in the dirt. We could use a sentiment. That's out of Angela's kit. Some things I remember where they're from, which kit they're from, and a lot I don't. There's just so much in all the kits from both RachandBella Crafts and Angela Kerr Designs that it's a little hard to remember which comes from where. I kind of like that. Just need to make sure. So right by of, because this isn't centered on the page, so I don't want to center this on the page because I'm allowing for that trim. I do want to ink this though. I think I'll work the other way round this time. I'm going to put the magnet on the flap first. Ooh, neighbour's got loud music going on in their car. Just got home by the sound of it. I'm going to pop it on there somewhere. Okay. And then, oh, can I get them apart? Maybe I needed to do it the other way around. Good tape. Oh, they don't want to come apart at all. They are glued together, so let's grab another couple of magnets because I'm going to have to work out why they're not coming apart. It's like it's weird. It's like they're glued together. Is there enough glue left there? No. Just making sure I get them around the right way. To take to those other two with a knife or something. Right, so there. So somewhere about there, I believe, is roughly where we want the magnet. Now, yep, that's the right side. Actually, why am I doing that? That's just a nonsense, isn't it? Yeah, I think I've made myself an issue here. I don't work with magnets very often. And I really should, because I bought them and they are wonderful. I just forget about them, and they live, I've got a metal frame desk. It's a metal frame with a glass top, and they just live kind of under the edge of the desk, stuck to the metal. So they're very handy located. But I just, yeah. I just forget to use them quite often. No. Yes, that placement is fine. Phew. We made it. Yep, and those two problem ones can go aside and I'll deal with them later. Naughty magnets. They must have come like that. Like I wouldn't have put glue on them and then put them back in the roll because I very rarely use them. So don't know what's going on. Okay, so we have now this one. Yep, that's stuck. So it's just right near the top because I didn't think about the placement on the flap before I glued it down. So I think either way, whether you did it on that side or the other side, I think I would have run into similar issues, really. So I do have some washi tape here. That one's a bit dark, I think. Oh, all sorts of dust and cat fur, and this one, floral one with bees, is pretty, but I am wondering about the green with all its associated lint from the dusty corner of my desk. Do I just want to put a strip right across? Yeah, I'm just going to do a strip right across, because why not? Press it in around that magnet. And I haven't put any extra glue on the washi tape, but it should be fine. Now I've just got to trim around it. The best way I can. Nope, maybe my small scissors. Let's try the small scissors. Yeah, that's easier. A little bit there. Sticking to my fingers all right, the tape. I may go back in and just pop a little bit of tacky glue in under the tape, but I'll worry about that off camera just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere, particularly with that magnet, holding that magnet in place. Okay, so let's see where we're up to. We've got closure with magnets. One there and then one in the middle at the top. We've got a fun little sentiment there. Okay, what have we got that we can fit in the pockets? Could put that there. It does stick up. I think I'd prefer something this way. I'm sure there's probably something we can use. No, everything I'm pulling out is vertical. About one of these, and they might not be quite big enough. No, it's gonna get lost in the pocket. We could expand it by backing it like we did with the other one. Right, everything seems to be vertical. I'm sure there are more horizontal things here. I just got to dig through the pile. It's a bit smaller, so it'll be too small again. Let's grab a bunch here and have a look. Tags, file. Oh, there we go. There's one that's horizontal, vertical, 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 vertical. Ah, horizontal. Okay, see, I knew there would be some things. There's another one. Gee, I'm creating such a mess. It's like a paper explosion on the top of my desk. That one's too big. It's beautiful, but it's too big for our little pockets. They're pockets. File folder, that's too big. And that's too big. Okay, let's see. Oh. This is a tag, but it's actually given me an idea. So let's try this lovely bee one. Yep, I like that there. And then what about in the bottom one? That one, or would I like this garden one with watering can? Either one would be pretty. I think I like the contrast of the blue rather than the pale creamy beigey colour, just so it's a bit more visible in there. What I was wondering about this lovely tag was actually using it as a backing. I'm going to do that. Yep, sold. I don't know what I'll do on the other one. Maybe there's another tag I can use. And the top of the tag that I trim off will still be usable, scrap for something. So we're using things, ephemera from digitals, in what I would call a non-traditional way, or a, how am I trying to say that? Unexpected way, I guess. But that's the thing about digitals, you don't have to use them as the, like if it's a tag, you don't have to use it as a tag. Same with envelopes or journal cards or whatever. You can cut it up, you can turn it into something else. You can add bits together. Right. So don't look at something and go, but I don't want it as a tag. Well, don't use it as a tag. Find another use for it. There's always a world of possibilities out there, my friends. And, you know, it's good to use them as they are because they are wonderful. They are designed for that and they're beautiful. Absolutely. I'm not saying don't ever use them as they are, because like a designer puts a lot of work into them and they are stunning. But also don't feel constrained by that at the same time. You can, I had a sudden thing, did I make sure the pattern was on the right side? And yes, I did. You know, you don't need to be constrained by whatever that piece of ephemera was made to be by the designer. It's a design and a suggestion, or maybe a bit more than a suggestion, but it's not a must do at all. Right, that's cute and very writable, very nice backing on there. So tuck that in there. Did we want to add tape on this one just to make it, it would actually give it a little reinforcement as well. Oh, I haven't actually covered it, so were you yelling at me? You haven't covered the magnet. Oh, what about that? That would be super cute. What about another circle? If we've got another circle, I'm sure there will be another circle, something. Or we could do a little like mini tea card or ticket. It's actually a ticket. No, I like the circle. Bear with me a moment while I dig through my pile. There must be more circles in here somewhere because I really like that. Oh, I've got different size circles. So is that the same? Yeah, so there's a hedgehog with some boots and a squirrel in the bucket. Oh, how precious. How gorgeous is that? Ah, love, love, love. Okay, we're going to do it. So I will put tape on that one before I stick the image down so it replicates this bottom one. And like I was saying, the tape will just help to kind of reinforce that edge as well. And the gluing this down will help that tape to not go anywhere. So, all happy. Let's pop that one. Oh, what a cute little squirrel. I wish we had squirrels in New Zealand. They're so cute. We do have hedgehogs. Love hedgehogs. Right, now putting this down without sticking it, although washi tape's removable, isn't it? It's not a deal breaker. I'm going to put it in the same position, even though it's not actually going to go over the magnet. But I'd rather have it look the same, because our image is going to go over the magnet. So, oh, that's not straight, dear. Oh, oh no, it's tearing my paper. Oh, oh. Yeah. Okay, let's repair that. Wasn't paying enough attention. Now I've just ripped that a little bit, but a bit of glue, she'll be fine. Okay, this time let's try and get this straight. No. There, that's better. It's unlikely to be perfect, but that's okay. Just, it was wildly off before. Right, back with the wee scissors and let's trim it out. Gosh, my tea will be cold by now. It'll be time to go make a fresh one after this video. And maybe that's the time I'll be able to go and sit out on the deck and read my book. Oh, doesn't it sound lovely? I've got such a mess inside. I'm in the process of tidying around my space here. And you know how when you're tidying, things go through that bad to worse stage before they get better? Mine's in the bad heading to worse stage, and I really should probably just press on and do that, but you know, that'll still be here when I've read a little bit of my book. And really I should take breaks. I don't really make time for breaks. Even when I have lunch, I'm usually I'll be watching YouTube, so I'm educating myself on ideas or catching up to support fellow YouTubers and friends and things like that. And then once I've finished eating, I'll still have the YouTube playing, and then I'll get into either planning my next project or making or crafting along with the YouTuber, or you know, so I don't really stop. It's very hard for me to stop. So I should really take a proper break. I've got a tiny little bit of washi tape that doesn't want to come off my finger. So let's stick it there for now. A little bit more trim there. There we go. Now we can turn it right side up. And ink around this one. Some cute little garden critters. Adorable. And then this will cover the magnet. Just got to put it slightly lower than this one to make sure that it's around the magnet. So I'm just pressing it down around the magnet, and there we go. Oh, that's super cute. What a fun thing to open and find. And then you've still got all this writing space, plus a pocket with additional writing space. So I am going to pop that one there, the bees. I will back it and ink it. And then this one that I have backed with the tag, because we're running out of time. So I'll do the same treatment with this other card. And there is the projects. So using envelopes in just a slightly different way to perhaps what would be normal. Something fun, interactive, and with the two variations. So we've got the sideways and we've got the vertical there. So I hope you enjoyed these ideas and give them a go. Super fun. Thanks for joining me. Have a fabulous weekend, friends. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.